What up, peeps? Welcome back to the second video of today. If you missed the earlier one, it was 4 PM Ji Sheng story. Check it out. But right now, at the 6 PM upload, we have got our Road to Glory career mode episode number 45 coming at you. In the last one, I asked you all what you thought we should do regarding the signings that I'd offered. So we had Harry Maguire and 16 million, or James Tarkowski and also Dominic Calvert-Lewin. 86% of you said that you would like to see Tarkowski and Calvert-Lewin join the club, so that's what we're going to be doing in the start of today's episode. There is the deal for Tarkowski completed. He only wanted 20 grand a week, so I was very happy to have that happen. But in today's episode as well, alongside the new signings and just playing in the Premier League, we have two massive games for England. There potentially could be a World Cup without England actually going to it. You are hearing that correct. In the World Cup qualifying group, it is so close between Belgium, Russia and England that a slip-up from any of the three will be massively costly heading into this upcoming World Cup. And if you remember, us being the England manager, we have a job to do. We want to win as much as we can with England as this Road to Glory has panned out. So if we don't manage to get into the World Cup itself, what a catastrophe that would be. So wait and stay tuned for those games to come later on. But as we kickstart today's episode, we go into the first game up against Arsenal at the Emirates. Of course, this new Crew side. Few new signings. Donny Staps up front, of course, after we let Ben Brereton leave the club. If you missed that last episode, a lot happened. Brereton went to Hoffenheim for 3 million pounds or something like that. And we signed Donny. He joins the club. He starts up front today. We've got Calvert-Lewin starting up on that right forward spot, of course. He's also new to the club. This will be his debut. And we have a debut for James Tarkowski at the back alongside Ezri Konsa. Still injured is Reece Oxford at the moment. So I don't know who my back four is going to be when, of course, we get Reece Oxford back. Whether or not we'll go with Konsa and Tarkowski and have Oxford as the backup, or whether or not we'll go Oxford, Tarkowski. I feel like the money we spent on Tarkowski, the £16 million, we kind of have to start, Tarkowski himself. And then it's just about, do we start Konsa or do we start Oxford alongside him? That's the question mark. But going into the game, Arsenal's squad isn't the greatest. It's not the best team I've seen. And we've said this before. It always is weird to see because they always tend to do the bad business. And again, looking at their side, it's an aging squad. It's one that I don't think is going to be great. They've got a few decent players, but nothing special. Personally speaking, I fancy our chances here. And that is the side, as you saw earlier on. Shibola, Grujic and Nelson start in the midfield. And it was actually us with a first chance. Jose Gaya down the left-hand side whips a great cross in. And it's Donny on the header. Should score to make it 1-0, to be honest. I don't know how on earth he missed it. Well, I say he missed it. It was a decent save from the keeper. But in all seriousness, Donny did head it straight at him. Continuing on now, and at the Emirates, it was one flow traffic. It was all Crew at this point, and Grujic got a little bit too much space to himself as he scores the opener. I'm not quite sure where the Arsenal defence went to because the right back there seemed to go walkies, and Grujic just had too much time to be able to pick his effort and find that top corner. So we lead here by a goal to nil inside the first 30 minutes, and as I said, it was all one-way traffic. It was all Crew. And this could get potentially bad for Arsenal at home if they continue to keep up the way they are. But nevertheless, take nothing away from that strike from Grujic. Great effort, and that is the reason why we have the lead in this game. And as we got into the 35th minute, El Ghazi found Donny, who found Calvert-Lewin. He's so quick, and in many ways, we lost a speed demon in Ben Brereton. But we've just picked up one in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Very quick as well. And he doubles our advantage in the 37th minute on a debut. He's got himself a debut goal. Donny's assist, Calvert-Lewin's finish. And I think his pace is somewhere in the region of like 93 to 94. So not slow at all. And he's going to cause a lot of danger when we need him to. That's the thing. We've got pace down both sides with El Ghazi and Calvert-Lewin. And we've got a good finisher in Donny's just up front. So we still have a very good attacking threat. And actually, considering the fact that, we lost Ben Brereton, you could argue a case that this is potentially, our best attack that we've had thus far in the series. And then, honestly, I just don't know what happened. Grujic picks it up and just smashes that one top bins. And that kind of just summed up Arsenal's afternoon. Really bad. But for us, what a performance. What a strike it was as well from Grujic. Just started really nicely for him. And there's absolutely nothing that Bowman can do. And can't blame the goalkeeper. In to say that this was a killing could be used. But I don't want to say that, but honestly, I never felt threatened. Like, Arsenal never came forward. There wasn't a moment in this one where I thought that we were going to concede. We won 3-0. It was quite comfortable. And yeah, it was just a good performance. Again, going back to my point I made, is this the best attack that we potentially have had in the series? Possibly. Is it the best front three that we're going to have? No. Is it the best striker we're going to have? Probably not. I still think that Brereton is going to be the best, striker we've had in the series, probably. But we'll see. There's still a long way to go, and I'm sure people are going to put up a case for themselves. But moving into the next one, we decided to sim this game. MK Dons in the Carabao Cup, second round. Honestly, not bothered. So I was like, okay, let's just sim this. We end up taking the lead through Delgado, one of the new players from the free agents that we picked up, a 19-year-old. And we took the lead and scored and then ended the game. So we won it by 1-0. Delgado's goal, the difference maker in that one. At that point, I decided to sim the next one against Palace in the Premier League. I thought, let's see if I can win a game. And if we can, then we don't need to be playing every single game this season. So we took an early lead through El Ghazi, scoring in the first minute of the game. And then we ended up getting a second, Donis adding to it. And he was quite lucky that we did get that second, because in the end, Mililovic did score. I've probably butchered his name there, for Palace to make it 2-1. And that is how we ended off the episode in terms of the Premier League appearances. Because, as I said, 2 massive games to come for England here against Russia. The reason they were so important were because, as it stood, England were third, Russia were second, and Belgium were top. All within 1 and 2 points of each other. So England playing Russia here, if they don't win this game, it's out of their hands to be able to get out of the group. Basically, guys, they need to beat Russia and then probably still have to win their final group stage game against Sweden to get out of the group. A draw here, it means that they then have to rely on Belgium or Russia to drop points in the final game and that they win. And a loss here, detrimental. That's how it stood. So yeah, Belgium on 18 points, Russia on 18 points, England on 16 points. So it's very, very close at the top, and anything less than a win here is detrimental to England. Russia, all they've got to do is draw the game, and they'll be thinking that they're through the group and should be out of it. But we'll see anyways. We just want to make sure that we're trying our hardest to get out of the group. Could you imagine a World Cup without England? Could you imagine us not getting through? I think genuinely, although we won the Confed Cup, if we don't get into the World Cup, we would be the worst England manager, I think, possibly ever. But the game started, and I was feeling confident. I felt like we could get the goals that we needed to do. Harry Winks here on the ball. We drive forward against the Russian backline, finds Dele Alli. Ali through to Kane, and the keeper showed signs of promise early on, keeping out Harry Kane inside the first 5 minutes. But it was one of those games where we keep Russia penned in and we were basically camped in their half the entire 90 minutes. Rashford, 18 minutes in, glides past a couple of players. His shot is well saved again by the legs of the Russian goalkeeper. And we just continue to pile the pressure on. Into the second half now, Luke Shaw on the ball finds a good cross straight towards the head of Raheem Sterling. But his header is weak and tame and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. 2 very similar chances coming up. It's Oxlade-Chamberlain finding Shaw again, very same situation towards Raheem Sterling. More power on this header, but the same outcome. We just could not find the goal that we required. And then in the 90th minute, when we were pushed onto ultra attacking, we gave away a chance. But luckily, they didn't take it. It would have been detrimental if they'd have scored that. A defeat would have been so bad here. And it would have just put England out of the competition as we tried to get back up the other end of the field of play. The referee brought it to a close. And although we spent pretty much the entire game camped inside Russia's half, we could only manage a draw, which meant going into the final game of the group stage, it was out of our hands. Belgium, Russia, England. Only 2 can go through. And England need Belgium and Russia to drop points and them to win for it to happen. Russia were playing against... Who were they against? Is it Poland, possibly? And Belgium were playing as well against another team. They weren't playing each other, so all we have to hope is that we beat Sweden and one of those 2 guys drop points. That's what we've got to hope. But of course, all England can do is win their game, and that's basically it. So that's how the group looked, and it's all down to the other games. Of course, we've got a job to do, though, here against Sweden. We have to win the game. Otherwise, we are out of this, and we will not be heading to the World Cup, which would be absolutely ridiculous. I do not want us to miss this upcoming World Cup, so we need the boys to put in a performance here. Oh man, it's going to be so tense. It really is, because it's all going to boil down to this one game. And of course, we had to change the slide around slightly due to a few stamina issues. But I changed the formation as well. We went with a 4-3-2-1. It seems to be working at Crew. So I thought, let's do it here as well. Front three of Ben Brereton, Harry Kane, and Marcus Rashford up top. So Brereton, he may not be a player at Crew, but he's starting the game today. And how we weren't 1-0 up inside 37 minutes, I just don't know. That summed up what I thought was going to be a bad day. When the keeper made that double save, I was like, right, well, that's us done. We're not going to the World Cup. And then Sweden, different game plan to Russia. They didn't just want to, like, kind of sit back and absorb the pressure because they had nothing to play for. They were playing for pride at this point. They want to win. So I was kind of glad in that aspect because it meant we would be able to get chances. And we'd get a chance in the 45th minute where Marcus Rashford would score to open up the scoring for the game. We needed that one to go in. I was just so glad when I saw that ball nestled in the back of the net that it felt like a huge bit of pressure being lifted off our shoulders. As I said, if Sweden had something to play for, maybe this one would have gone differently. Because of the fact that they didn't, they allowed themselves to get caught short at the back. And that's the reason we took the lead, really, because we had the extra man. And although we took the lead, there was still a second half to come where it would be very nervous if we did concede. Now, at this point, we didn't know how the other games were faring, so all we had to do was make sure we won our game, and we should have taken a second goal. Again, if we do get to the World Cup, we're going to need to improve finishing, because somehow the keeper stops us going 2-0 in front, and that would have killed the game off completely. But luckily for us, we hold on to a 1-0 win. We do get the victory, but at this point, we didn't know. We didn't know if we were heading to a World Cup or if we'd fallen short. So I was just waiting to get out the menu and see how the other games had panned out. Victory for, you know, Belgium and Russia would sink us out. If it's a draw for either one, we'd be through. And that is how it ended. Bulgaria 1, Belgium 2, Poland 1, Russia 1. So Belgium winning tops the group, but Russia only drawing in their final game against Poland means that we are through to the World Cup this time around. We dealt it with the hardest possible way. Gonna go back into the fixtures just to show you it again. Honestly, we made it look so hard for ourselves, didn't we? We did it at least, but it took us to the final game of the group stage for it to actually work. Poland 1, Russia 1, Sweden 0, England 1 is the game that matters. That is confirmation. Through goal difference alone, England are going to the World Cup. We were so close to not going, but we will be able to watch a World Cup at the end of this season. I'm glad about that, guys. If you did enjoy today's episode, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for so much for all of your support, and thank you for 22,000 subscribers. It means the world to me as well. I'll catch you all again at 4 PM tomorrow for yet another video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you all then. Adios.